Hello everyone, I'm Anastasia. Welcome back to another session of Fundamental of Nursing. In today's session, we are going to do a continuation of the last class, which is also related to nursing. Here in today's session, we are going to discuss about what are the qualities that a nurse should possess. So before we move on to the topic, first see at what is the definition of nursing. Here, according to Henderson, nursing is defined as a unique function of a nurse to assist the individual, sick or well, in the performance of those activities which he would do unaided if he had the necessary strength, will, or knowledge. So here, nursing is a profession whereby they will be the ones who will be providing care and treatment to the sick and injured. They will also be the one who will be assisting them in their day-to-day activities if this person is not in a condition of doing it by himself or herself. So now let us move on to the qualities of a nurse. So being in the nursing profession, it is very important that we must acquire these qualities such as good communication skills, emotional stability, empathy, flexibility, attention to detail, as well as interpersonal skills. We should also have physical endurance, problem-solving skills, a quick response, respect, self-confidence, honesty, loyalty, cooperative, good listener, good supervisor, being impartial, responsible, advocate, quick thinker, as well as a good decision maker. However, there are still many other qualities that we nurses must possess, but these are a few of the important ones that we must acquire when we are in this profession. So now let us look at each one of it in detail. The first one here is the communication skills. As we all know that a good communication is a basic foundation for any career. However, being a nurse, it is one of the most important aspect of this job. Why? Because it is very important that as a nurse, you must have a good communication skills so that you will be able to communicate with the patient as well as with the other healthcare teams. A great nurse will have an excellent communication skill, especially when it comes to speaking as well as listening. Here, the nurses are the ones who will be providing care to the patient. So, being in this profession, it is very important that you must develop a good communication skill with the patient and with the family members so that you will get to know all their problems, as well as you also need to maintain a good communication with the other healthcare professionals so that you will be able to understand and communicate whatever needs to be communicated to the patient. Here, being a nurse, you also have many roles and responsibilities whereby you have to put forward while taking care of the patient. So when the doctor advises for any treatment modalities that needs to be followed or for any procedures that need to be carried out, if you have a good communication skills, then only these patient or the family members will be willing to put that into action. Now, suppose if you're not having a good communication with the family members and if you are not communicating whatever is going to be done to the patient, these family members might not be satisfied with whatever is going to be done. So therefore, as I've repeatedly said, communication is very important. Here, based on the team and patient feedback, as a nurse, we will be able to solve problems and effectively communicate with the patient as well as with the family members. The next one is emotional stability. As we all know that the nursing profession is a very stressful one whereby we will be encountering many traumatic cases. Here, the ability of the nurse to accept sufferings and death without letting it get personal is very crucial. As a nurse, you will witness some days where you feel like there is non-stop gloom and doom, whereas there will also be some moments which will be very heart-touching. So it is very important that as a nurse, you must be emotionally stable. Here, helping the patient recover, reuniting the families, as well as bonding with the other nurses and the other healthcare professionals are the main benefit of this job. So as a great nurse, you will be able to manage the stress which can occur in any situation, and you will be able to handle not only yourself but also the other healthcare team professionals or the family members as well. The next one here is empathy. Great nurses will be having empathy for the pain and suffering of the patient. Therefore, they will be able to feel the compassion and provide care. So for this, the first thing the nurse must learn is how to recognize the symptoms and how to deal with it effectively. Being sympathetic to the patient hospital experiences can go a long way when a nurse is providing care to the patient. However, sometimes all a patient need is a nurse empathy towards them, because by having so, you as a nurse will try to find out various solutions that you can provide, that you can help the client in order to help them promote their health as soon as possible. The next one here is flexibility. Here, being flexible and rolling with the punches is a staple of any career. But it is especially important for nurses, as we all know that nursing is a profession whereby it requires a lot of time in order to provide care to the patient. Being a nurse, it is not easy because this is not a desk job. Here, you need to provide care to the patient whenever it is required, either it be related to the working hours or to the responsibilities. So, nurses, they are just like doctors, whereby they would need to work for a long duration of time. Sometimes they even need to work overtime, and there are also times where they have to come to work during the weekends and they get less amount of time to spend with the family members. The next one here is attention to detail. Here, being in this profession, it is very important that you must pay attention to each and every minor detail. Here, as we all know that nurses are the ones who will be providing care to the patient. So even one small mistake from your side can even lead to the death of the patient. Every step in the medical field is one that have a far-reaching consequences. So here a great nurse will always be paying an excellent attention to whatever is going around and will make sure that they not skip any step or make any error. Either it be reading a patient chart or remembering a small minor detail of a delicate case. Here, when a simple mistake can spell a tragedy for the life of the others, it is very important that we must pay attention to each and every minor detail, as this can literally be the difference between the life and the death. The next one here is the interpersonal skills. Being in this profession, it is very important that the nurse must always obtain a good interpersonal skills, either it be with the patient or with the family members or with the other healthcare team professionals. As we all know that the nurses are the link between the doctors and the patients, a great nurse has an excellent interpersonal skills and works well in a variety of situations with different people. Being a nurse, you should always develop these good interpersonal skills, because this will help you to work well, either it be with the patient, with the doctor, or with the other healthcare teams. So here, if you have maintained a good interpersonal relationship with the people around you, it will also help you in your working hours. Not only that, but it will also be helping you to provide a good quality care to the patient. The next one is physical endurance. Here, frequent physical tasks, standing for a long duration, as well as lifting heavy objects or patients from one place to the other, and performing a number of taxing maneuvers on daily basis are a staple of the nursing life. So in order to perform these activities, a nurse must have a good stamina and good energy. And in order to have that, a nurse must make sure that she eat the right amount of food, as well as she take proper rest and follow a healthy lifestyle. The next one here is problem solving skills. Being a good nurse, it is always required that you must have a good problem solving skills. A great nurse can think quickly and address the problem even before or while it arises. Here, with sick patient, trauma cases, as well as emergency cases, it is very important that the nurse must develop a good problem solving skills before the situation turns bad. They should also be able to solve any tricky situation, either it be handling the patient, soothing the family members, managing the other staffs, or dealing with the doctors. Having a good problem solving skills is one of the top quality of a great nurse. The next one here is a quick response. Here, nurses needs to be ready to give a quick response to any emergency or any other situation that arises in the hospital. As a nurse, you must always be prepared for any unexpected situation to arise. So, in order to become a good nurse or a great nurse, you must always be ready to stand on your feet, keep a calm attitude, as well as you must always keep your head cool in case any situation arises so that you will be able to deal with it effectively. The next one here is respect. As we all know that respect goes a long way. So a great nurse will respect people as well as the rules. A great nurse will not maintain any partiality towards any client. They will always be treating all the client equally, and they will always maintain a confidentiality about the client, as well as they will always be mindful about the various cultures or the traditions which a client follow in order to maintain a good interpersonal relationship. Great nurses will show respect not only to the professionals who are above them, but also to the other nurses or to the other healthcare professionals, as well as to the patient, knowing that the patient comes first. So a nurse who respects others will also get respect in return. The next one here is self-confidence. So being a nurse, you must always be confident in whatever you do. As you know that you are the ones who will be providing care to the patient, here the patient as well as the family members are the people who will be looking up to you. So if you are confident, and if you are confident with whichever decision you are taking, this will build the trust in them, and this will also help in maintaining a good IPR with the patient as well as with the family members. Next one here is honesty. Honesty is one of the important quality of a nurse. No matter what you do, you must always be honest with the patient and with the family members. Here, the patient and the family members will always have so much hopes on you, so you must try to make sure not to break their trust by spreading false information. You must be always honest with whatever situation it is, not only with the patient or with the family members, but it is also very important that you must maintain this honesty with the other healthcare professionals. The next one here is loyalty. As we can all understand that you must always be loyal with the ones you are providing care to. Next is cooperative. Here, being in this profession, you must always cooperate with your other healthcare team professionals, because here, as you all know, that providing care by you yourself is not only enough. Here, when we provide care to the patient, we requires a lot of advice or a lot of information from the other healthcare team professionals as well. So, in order to provide a good quality nursing care to your patient, you must always cooperate with the other healthcare team professionals. Next is good listener. You must always be a good listener so that you will be able to note down any information which you are getting from the patient or from the family members. You must also be a keen observer, good supervisor. It is very important that you must be a good supervisor so that you get an idea of whatever is happening around. The next one here is impartial. No matter what caste, what religion, what tradition a patient is following, you must always provide the same amount of care to anyone who comes to the hospital settings, not being partial to any of the patient. The next quality is the advocate. Here, being a nurse, you can also play as an advocate, whereby you will be helping the patient and the family members in decision making, as well as voice out their needs to the other healthcare team professionals. You must be responsible, quick thinker, as well as a good decision maker. You must make sure that whatever you decide is for the benefit of the client. You must not decide anything based on your own interests, but also on the interests of the client, the family members, and also of the other healthcare professionals. So these are the qualities that a great nurse will be possessing in her profession. Now, moving on to the nurse's qualification, you must have a Bachelor of Science degree in nursing. You must be physically as well as mentally fit, as well as you must have a license to practice nursing in the country. Now, moving on to the mnemonics of a nurse. Here, the N stands for noble and nurturing. The U stands for understanding as well as usefulness. The R stands for reliable as well as respectfulness. The S stands for smart as well as selfless. And the E stands for empathy as well as efficiency. So here we have come to the end of this topic, whereby in today's session we have discussed about what are the various qualities of a great nurse. So I hope you guys have understood this topic. Thank you.